You this afternoon. I'm so excited to have Dr. Caleb Braddock, who's just a wonderful chiropractor. I've known him since he got out of chiropractic college. Geez, what, 16 years ago?
It's been a long time.
And just very grateful that we got to reconnect through Dr. Jeff May. And Caleb has been part of the Softwave team. He's also one of our national trainers and also a great Softwave ambassador. So Caleb, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you practice.
Yeah, so I practice about an hour, 45 minutes north of Dallas, small town, 3,500 people on the population side. So we're pretty rural. Graduated 16 years ago, fire breathing chiropractic, eat, sleep, breathe chiropractic, love the principle of chiropractic. And so that's kind of always been me. If you want to label me, you could kind of label me straight in the sense that there's no machines in my office. I've never had an ultrasound machine. I've never had any machines in my office. We really kind of, practice more subluxation based chiropractic. So it's kind of weird that I even have this futuristic piece of technology in my office, because I'm not the guy that bought a cold laser and then bought this and then bought that and has a million tools. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's just kind of my background. And so we see between 500 and 600 patients a week in our office. So relatively high volume, a lot of fun, a lot of energy. And we put a lot into the fact that God created your body with the ability to heal and function when taken care of right. And so, which will kind of dovetail that into this machine or this technology as we talk, because what a congruent thing, the way that it's allowing and utilizing a body's own innate recuperative healing power. This is really chiropractic. Like, I don't want to say that it's not chiropractic, but it's the same. Like, it's congruent with everything else that happens in my office. And so that to me is awesome. It's not like I'm doing, pain management, or we're giving people, chemicals or anything like that. So I love that aspect of it. Jeff May, who do you have a question?
Well, no, I was just going to say, I always love the philosophical side of chiropractic and natural healing. But really the above, down, inside out, we talked about this last couple of classes, but it's really, the above down is the nervous system, the spine, the posture, and the inside out. This is really like, now we've got this tool that actually flips a switch that kind of activates the cellular communication and really calls in for all these innate immune responders to come and start healing. So, the coolest thing is, you run a very principled chiropractic office. I think Jeff May connected us and said, hey, I don't know what Jeff said to you, but you obviously were like, okay, I want it, so just kind of walk.
It was a Saturday morning. Yeah. A Saturday morning, I'm drinking coffee, and Jeff is like my brother from another mother. Like, I love him. We know each other, but we've never actually met. We've never been in the same room together. We only know each other through the internet, but we both grew up on ranches. We both grew up high school rodeoing and riding horses and that sort of stuff. And so I gel really well with his personality and the way that he operates. And he's what I call a real deal chiropractor. Hope nobody takes offense to that. But so Jeff May is on the video on Unbelievable, and it's crazy. And if you want to know more about it, call me. And so I messaged him on a Saturday morning. He hopped on the phone with me for 30 minutes, told me about it, told me the price, to which I was like, oh, damn, that's a lot of money. You know what I mean? But he said, let me connect you with Matt DeDuro. And I'm like, I remember you. I mean, it's been a long time back, but we knew each other back in the day. So he connected me with you, a couple of conversations. And so the room that I'm in right now was a room that we weren't really doing anything with in my office, or it wasn't generating any revenue. And so we put some paint on the walls, put the things that we need to in here, and then ordered the machine. And from month day one, honestly, the day that you were here, I think we collected like $3,000 on day one, the training day. which is awesome. And then so we ordered it last March, and April 1st of last year was the first time that we did it on an actual patient. And so from April 1st through the end of 2020, that's 9 months, we collected $218,244. So that's serious revenue.
Wait a second. $218,000. And you said that was 8 months. 9 months.
9 months.
Help me out with that. What does that come out to? I'm not great with 220. Somebody who's good with numbers.
Yeah, it's probably around 20 grand.
Yeah.
A month. Let's see.
Yeah,
about $24,000 a month on average.
24,000. That what we see is that's within that average that we like to see. And the cool thing is you were in the black from day one, from the first training day. And we hand this baton off. It's like, here you go. We help you treat all the worst of the worst people, right? And I tell you, you had no trouble after being there for 14 years finding people who had chronic issues that the conservative care wasn't getting better. And the cool thing was, it seems like every community I go into, that you guys, all the chiropractors have this wonderful following and a great tribe. And the beautiful thing is within the first 3 or 4 months, you're able to pay this off with internal marketing before you even do external marketing. So that's been awesome. So what type of impact has this had on your community? Like, what are the stories? Because it gets you, it's wonderful. We talk about the financial stability this gives you, but what does it give? What has it done for your community?
Well, I really think that's the most important part, because everybody wants increased revenue. That's really been a huge blessing to the office, but we don't really, I'm not ever going to sell somebody something that I don't fully believe in. And so I had my mother, she's an avid golfer, always done physical things her whole life. She has terrible knee pain. A friend of mine does stem cell injections. Oh my gosh, you got to do it. It'll fix everything. Steep money, do stem cell injections. For her, it just didn't work. Now, I'm not saying that's everyone's experience, but it worked like 0%. Man, she wanted it too. A year later, talking to a different guy, he's selling stem cells. He's like, oh, you use crappy stem cells. No one has better stem cells than me. It's unbelievable. So we go through the whole thing again with a different guy. He's like, she'll be better in 3 weeks. Unfortunately, she might be the outlier. It just didn't have any positive effect for her. And so there's no way at this point in my life I could sell stem cells to somebody just because I saw it not work. But this thing has worked amazing on my mom's knees, amazing on my dad's shoulder. He was here last night doing his 6th visit on his shoulder. And so what I started, and it really what opened my eyes, is I have these people that love the principle. They've been long-term patients here. They come in because they understand nervous system, they understand spinal anatomy, but at the same breath, they're grabbing their keys, headed to a pain management guy to get another cortisone injection in the shoulder. And so we adjust extremities, love adjusting extremities. But man, there's a million different people with knee pain, shoulder pain, wrist pain. Neuropathy has been unbelievable, the changes we've noticed. Like, it's people who can't even tell whether they have a shoe on their foot or not unless they look down, being able to rub their foot across my carpet and feel the fibers of it.
Yeah,
so tears have been shed in this room, and it's really because we're serving these people in this capacity one way, but then there's all these other body parts that we really, from a chiropractic standpoint, are still lacking, being able to help them find a truly recuperative, restorative, natural approach to those things, rather than just more Advil or more cortisone injections or another surgery. And so we can with utter confidence sell this because we know it works. And in the grand scheme of things, it's people pay with time and money, right? And so from the money standpoint, this is a super, super affordable treatment. Like, this is insanely affordable. And it's 6 visits. So, from a chiropractic standpoint, it's not, hey, come 3 times a week for 90 days. This is once a week for 6 weeks. So we've got people that literally will drive from Austin, Texas, 4 hours here. And so it has allowed us to market to a much broader scope of people rather than just the people in our neck of the woods, if you will, from a chiropractic standpoint, to being able to really stretch out and market to people from 40 miles away that will cheerfully come here once a week for 6 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, just a couple points. I'm taking notes, and you guys feel free to ask any questions. The two biggest points are, I can't stand that there's consultants out there that are trying to talk chiropractors into getting into the stem cell business still. Like, that train is gone, and the FDC has basically shut it down. So there are still consultants out there that are saying, oh, get a nurse practitioner, get a medical director, buy biological fluids and stem cells. I mean, it's like, medical directors, $1,500 a month. Nurse practitioners are $40 to $80 an hour. The biological fluids and stem cells can be $80 to $1,200 per patient. It's a failed process. But the thing that we realized from this whole regenerative medicine is that it's consumer driven. Patients like your mom, they want that relief. They want to avoid surgery. They want to avoid joint replacements. They want to avoid cortisone. So again, $5,000 to $7,000 per injections. It's a roll of the dice. It's a 50-50 shot if you're actually going to get some benefits from it. The second thing is the extremities. You have a decompression clinic. We're going to talk about it a little bit. You've got a great network of doctors that work under you and with Chad, your partner. And, I said to you, I think on my first call, I said, has decompression been good for you? And you're like, yeah, it's been great for our clinic. And I go, well, this is going to be 10 times bigger. And you were like, why? And I said, because, instead of just the cervicals and lumbars doing traction, you can do the wrist, you can do the hand, you can do the elbow, you could do the low back, the knee, the shoulders, the ankles, the wrist. The versatility and how patients respond to this is really, it's our secret sauce. So, go ahead and tell us a little bit about some of your genesis and how you've incorporated this with your decompression centers.
Well, I mean, that really kind of dovetails into that, because treated chiropractic patients for so long, and chiropractic works. I mean, I could wax and wane about that for a long time, but I was having disc patients, bulging and herniated disc patients, that honestly, I felt like I had a small stick fending off a pack of wolves, and I could do it for a short amount of time, but eventually I lost the patient to pain management, and then I lost them to a disc surgery. And so Dr. Chad Glines, partner of mine, we really teamed up, put Genesis together, which he had been doing exclusively spinal decompression with the DRX 9000 for 12 or 15 years. And so now we're up to 12 locations where we're able to take the Genesis model of how to help those people, be able to plan it in an already successful chiropractic office, teach them how to use it, train them, marketing, all done for you. And then that, again, gives them a segment of the population that needs that treatment. There really has no great option whatsoever. And it's great revenue, which is awesome, but you're truly helping people avoid drugs and surgery. And man, I could tell you a ton of stories about that. So like I said, we up to 12 locations. We just, our first one in California. We just got that one yesterday. So, we're in California, Michigan, New York, Oklahoma, and Texas so far. And we're on a mission to get 100 Genesis offices. So that's our goal. But Dr. Chad, he's already bought a Softwave machine for his office. He's super excited about it. And so I think maybe, and I know a handful of my friends are on this call. I can't see them anymore, but Dr. Charla, Dr. Rob, Dr. Drew Smith. It's easy for me to tell people, because it's like, look, it's allowed me to do an additional $25,000 a month in revenue, which has been helpful for staff, because I can bonus the doctors and the staff that work with me. And it's fulfilling, it's helping serve a segment, and it's been congruent with my practice. So younger, if I tried to incorporate some other thing, the better or more energy I put into that thing, my chiropractic practice went down. Last year we had, and it's our 16th year of practice. It was the most successful year we've ever had in 16 years. And that's without Softwave. So my chiropractic practice is growing and expanding, which we love. And this is expanding alongside of it. And so they're mutually beneficial things. It's not like we're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah, they multiply the effects of each one. And, you know, you said something that was really cool. I think you were the first or second chiropractor in all of Texas. I mean, you are in a blue ocean. You're number one. And in Van Alstyne, am I saying it right?
Van Alstyne, yeah.
Texas, nice small little town just north of Dallas. And I mean, you brought a world-class medical device into this somewhat of a rural community, and you're offering this really groundbreaking technology. And then not only are you doing that and helping in your community, but now you're building this bigger picture, this bigger vision of the Genesis spine. But also you've been a great ambassador for Softwave and our company, and I'm very grateful. The reason I love it, you've referred over 10 or 11 other doctors to me, and they're the best, because all I have to do is, I don't know what you say to them, I want to hear on this call, because you want these people to be successful as well. And you're like, by the time I get to them, they're like, okay, what do I need to do? Where do I send my money? So what are you telling your doctors, and how are you getting the message out?
Well, a lot of it's kind of what we talked about already. And the people that I've sent you are my dearest friends. Like, they're my closest people that I like the most, because, you know, if I find, if one of my friends, for instance, any of the people on this call found something that they're able to help that many patients that they currently don't really have any avenues to help those types of things, it's congruent with the principles that I'm living and practicing by, and it's able to generate, you know, cash revenue so easily. I would hope they would tell me, right? It's like, please pick up the phone and call me if you find something like that. And so I'm just really transparent about how I've set it up in our office. We're only open 21 hours a week. We have opened no additional hours. So all of Softwave fits in that 21 hours a week. So we have the two doctors, Dr. Justin and Dr. David, that work with me are really incredible. They've really kind of come into their own, and they're the ones doing the discovery scans. And then we have a really fantastic person that came on board, Leanne, and she does all of our day-to-day treatments in the room. And man, she should be on the call, because she's the one that gets to see all of these people change. You know,
you have
she's
an
really
amazing team. She kept us on our discovery day every 15 minutes. We got some questions out there that I want to make sure we address. You know, they're curious about, you do a 6-visit plan. Typically, you know, we've updated that to 2 times a week for 2 weeks. And that's to stay in front of the inflammation, and then once a week for 3 to 4 weeks. And really what that 75 to 90% of what we need to get the results we're looking for. I guess, you know, my question is, how do you, maybe you could walk us through what a typical discovery day in your clinic might be, and how these patients qualify, and then how do you pitch it? Because and it's not really a pitch, because it's such easy case acceptance, but you did tell me you do small and single units, so go ahead and kind of explain that.
Yeah, so I'm a sucker for simplicity, just because I'm a simple thinking person. So we've just kept it at once a week for 6 weeks, and then it's simple. Like that just is easy. It's approachable. So that's what we do. And then for the price, Shockwave or Softwave. And so for me, in my simple mind, I was like, man, if I was priced that way, I'm sitting back here hearing click, 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 click. And if I'm the consumer or the patient, I may be thinking 25, 50 cents, 75, $1, 25, 50 cents, you know what I mean? And so we put together a plan. I'm happy to share this with anybody, but essentially we do large anatomy and small anatomy. And so if somebody has a wrist or they have an elbow or something like that, we put that under small anatomy. If they have a hip or a knee or a shoulder, that's large anatomy. And so if you're large anatomy, single area, only one shoulder, then that's your option 1 price, and that's your care credit price. If you have 2 shoulders, we're going to treat both shoulders simultaneously. That's your option 1 price. That's your option 2 price. Same thing for small anatomy. There's a single area, multiple area. So the doctor is going to say, you're the patient, you've got both shoulders are giving you problems. We're going to circle right here. And then that's the whole financial presentation. It's just that one small square. That's it. The rest of this stuff's not applicable. We're just going to camp out wherever it is for you. So the way that we do discovery scan, and like I said, I have the best staff. The girl that you were bragging on the other day is Jenna, my office manager. She's been with me for 13, I think 14 years now. And so she runs a tight ship, like you said. And so she'll let us know that there is a discovery scan. One of my docs will bring the person back. They'll do a little bit of a history, qualify the patient, make sure that we're actually dealing with something that we think could help. And then we kind of preface the technology. The things that we say is it does three important things. It drives down pain and inflammation, right? That feels good. 9 times out of 10, people feel different immediately today in the room in a few minutes. The second thing it does is it increases circulation, and it actually creates angiogenesis, which is new blood flow to the area. And we all know blood flow is the name of the game when we're trying to create healing. And then finally, and the reason this machine exists in this tiny town is for the third reason. And that is that it has the ability to recruit your body's dormant and latent stem cells, bring them to that area so they can actually start that healing regenerative process. Because the goal is that we're not just treating your symptoms, but in 6 weeks that your body is actually healing. And the way I explain it is if I have a beehive and I tap, you look at the beehive, and I have beehives myself, I have bees. There's a couple of bees flying around, but not that many. But if I go over to the box and I start tapping, in just a little bit, there is going to be a gazillion bees, right? Everywhere. And so that's what we're trying to do is wake the bees up so they can come to that area where we're tapping and they can start to build the honeycomb. And that's how stem cells work in the body. And so we're expecting you to see a change today. That's why we're going to discover if this works. If we treat over healthy tissue, you're not going to really feel much of anything, and you don't need the treatment. If we treat over damaged tissue, it's going to be a little spicy, right? Nothing you can't handle, but you will know something is going on. That's a good sign. That means you actually are going to benefit from the treatment. And then make sure they don't have any questions. We do the discovery scan. Like I said, 9 times out of 10, it's almost like a carnival trick. Like in Genesis, if we could have 9 out of 10 patients get off the decompression machine day 1 and feel improvement, it would be incredible, right? It's just not the case. If 9 out of 10 people got their very first chiropractic adjustment and felt an incredible change, everyone's conversion rates would go up. So our conversion rate's probably around 90% on this machine of people. If they sit in this and they truly need it, about 9 out of 10 people start care. So it's super, super easy. And that's essentially the discovery scan. Yeah. When we're done, we go over this one sheet of paper, show them what their options are, option 1, option 2, and then the guys walk them up front, and Amber or Jenna finish it all up, take the payment, and get them scheduled.
Really, there's brilliance in simplicity, right? Our friend and former consultant Eric Breitenmoser used to say that. He also said there's riches in niches.
He did.
This is, I don't want to say this is a niche because this is such a nice compliment, but even 4.5 years ago, I'd said, I predicted a future where there would be different type of healthcare offices, those that had this device and those that don't. And those that don't are going to be like an antiquated clinic or split phone from 2008. I still believe that. This is the future of healthcare. Where else can you find a device that can do a perform diagnostic and treatment at the same time, and turn off that inflammatory process? That is the key. I do have to address one thing, and we've placed this in 465 clinics now across the country. There's 88 doctors on a waiting list. Things are moving in the right direction. You can feel that tipping point. But of those 65 clinics, we've had 4 to 5 that are not doing well with this. And we want to create, Dr. Braddock is going to be part of our leadership conference and also be willing to coach with some of our docs that are struggling, because it's, we have a beautiful 99% stick rate, but I want more successful doctors and healthcare providers out there. So, that's the one thing I know. Caleb, you said you'd be available to help and share some of your forms. It is very simple. What is your thoughts for those docs that are out there? Number one, that are thinking about getting this. And then number two, well, let's put it this way. The guys that are out there struggling, what would you say right now? What would be the number one or two pieces of advice you'd give them?
Well, I do this a lot when I'm consulting with people, but if you're as old as we are, you remember Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner, right? The Roadrunner would come up with a really extravagant plan to catch the coyote, but the moment the plan failed, he scrapped it and moved to an entirely different extravagant plan. And so I always said, man, if the coyote would just tweak any single thing that he came up with to catch this Roadrunner, if he would just tweak it and try it a couple of different ways, a couple of different times, he would have had the Roadrunner in one episode. And so the odds are, if you're struggling with this, you're probably not far off. But find, message me, message Jeff May or you, and let somebody help you and tweak a couple of things. We have, like I said, we have 12 locations and Genesis, and then probably 15 of my closest friends. We have a social media marketing agency who I've been with for 5 years. I've known her for 15 years. She's unbelievable. She can do more than anybody I've ever seen in this space. So all of our Genesis offices are 100% driven on online marketing and referrals, but it's all online marketing. We don't do, and Lord knows I've done dinner talks and lunch and learns and spinal screenings and postcards and direct mail and killer ads and all that stuff. We've done it. But right now it's all done online and it's done easy. So I'd be happy to connect anybody with her. If anybody needs, like, you want my financial care plan, I can email it. You're welcome to share it. But just talk to somebody, because odds are you just need a couple of small tweaks and you're just going to be killing it.
Yeah,
with this thing.
And listen, we have some wonderful digital marketing agencies out there. Nothing is 100%. So you've got to be able to make those adjustments, maybe find one that works in your area. And thank you for that. The cool thing is this, it's like, this is a movement that is coming, right? It's not about you or I or Jeff May. This is so much bigger than us. And I really, it's like, take no credit, take no blame. And we need just another 100 wonderful doctors like you, Caleb, to help us on this mission to end pain and suffering for millions of people across America. So it's going to happen. And you got to find your friends. Can you imagine, your friends that you've referred to, they think you walk on water because you've added this cherry on the top of their already illustrious career in their clinics. And this is what's going to create legacy wealth for your families, when you can add an extra $250,000 to $320,000 a year. And we're in it for the long haul, right? And for over 10 years, that's gives you that financial freedom that you can work on your clinic and not in it every day. So listen, I think that I want to respect everyone's time. I know a lot of people are in between. Just some shout outs to some wonderful docs that are coming on board. Dr. Sandra Denton is going to be the first medical doctor in Alaska. Thank you for coming on board. Rob Myers is doing a wonderful job. Reed McCrae, Laura Gilbert's part of that wonderful team up in, so we've got Matthew Lanham, really great. I mean, I can't wait to share with you all just some of the wonderful trainings we've had and some of the great, really transformational things that are happening in these clinics, even on the first day. So thank you all so much. I'll make this available for everyone. David Coberly doing some wonderful work out there in Indiana. Love it, brother. Thank you guys, and be safe and stay warm.
Hey,